Aye, we give you the facts. It's not what you think. Popeye Newsling, Young King, 1 yard, bless.
Good morning, Popeye. Grandma watch Popeyes every morning and every night.
Greetings, viewers and subscribers. So my viewers, my subscribers, I want you to check out this YouTube channel. It's called Try Vocal Vivo and the young man. Try Vocal, he has a very nice song on that channel. It's called Zone Out. Listen to this part.
That's why me zone out. Give myself to myself that me know about. Your dog me never got boy. Got the place now run under no good vibes. Raw fast me zone out. Give myself to myself that me know about. Your dog me never got boy. Got the place now run under no good vibes.
Trust me when I tell you, it's a very nice song. Check it out. And Try Vocal. Big up yourself. Good song, youth. Now, later on, I'm gonna be dropping another video. I'm gonna let you hear a voice note from a PNL detective about that guy on your screen. That's Nicholas Reuben, also known as Evil Lord. He was shot and killed by the police in St. Elizabeth yesterday. You're not gonna want to miss this voice note. It's coming up later. Stand by for that. Now, in this first incident, and whenever I carry these stories, there are some folks running in the comment section saying that me a tarnish people name and me a carry fake news and all kinda Texas manure. Listen to me now. I'm never there when these incidents are allegedly taking place. All I do is report on the fact that the person was arrested and charged by the police, and I state the allegations they are charged based on. So when I carry these stories, yes, people are gonna be upset. Yes, people are gonna vex, but like I always say, vex if you want vex, because that are for your business. Now, detectives at the Savannah Lamar Siswoka office, they have arrested and charged a 54-year-old man for 2 counts of sexual touching. His name is Hewitt, but he's popularly known as JANGO. Like I said, JANGO is 54 years old and he's from Hudson Street in Savannah Lamar, but he's living in Miami, Florida, in the United States of America. The allegations are that sometime in early last year, a 10-year-old girl went to JANGO's home where he held her and kissed her. It is further alleged that sometime last month, the same girl who will be 12 years old next month, she was at JANGO's house and he kissed her again and used his hands to squeeze her buttocks. A report was made to the police who commenced investigations. We are learning that JANGO, and learning that the report was made against him at the police station, he contacted a lawyer and he handed in himself to the police yesterday, Wednesday, August 2, and he was subsequently charged by the police. He'll be facing a judge shortly. In this next story, from time to time, persons have asked, what is the murder stats for Jamaica? So here is the official murder stats from January 1 till August 1 this year. And remember now, this does not capture all the murders committed in Jamaica, because a lot of times persons are reported missing and they are never ever found. And I can say this without any fear of contradiction, that some of the time these persons who goes missing, they are killed and never ever found. So for the period of January 1 to August 1 this year, the parish of St. Andrew, with 3 police divisions, they led the way with 127 murders. They are followed by St. Catherine with 2 police divisions with 122 murders. The parish of St. James is next with 120 murders, followed by Kingston with 3 police divisions with 105 murders. They are followed by the parish of Westmoreland with 72 murders. Then Clarendon with 73. Next is Senton with 49. Followed by my beloved parish, Hanover with 41. Manchester is next with 26. Then St. Mary with 20. Then St. Thomas with 17. Followed by St. Elizabeth with 16. Trelawney is next with 11. And Portland is at the bottom of the table with 9 murders. So the parishes of Kingston and St. Andrew, they have a combined total of 232 murders. And that was up to Tuesday of this week. And for persons who are still of the view that Jamaica's crime problem is because of unemployment or poverty or lack of opportunity, I can tell you this: you are living in a bubble or outer space. A lot of these youths, them prefer to sit down on the corner, drinking rum and boom, and crush out weed in a them hand middle. A lot of these youths, them prefer to be hired as a hitman rather than to go and seek any gainful employment. A lot of these youths, them prefer to chop the line more than, well, by the way, you remember that some time ago, you used to have a lot of young tradesmen, youths learning masonry, carpentry, cabinet making, etc. Now, check out any workshop or construction sites right now. It's hard to find any youngster on them. I am no psychologist or criminologist, but based on what I am seeing, even if it's not taught as a subject in school, it must be included in the school's curriculum. It's called changing the mindsets of the youths. The youths, they need to be taught how to love themselves without being a narcissist. They need to be taught how to love and respect others, especially persons who are set above them. And that is why, and let me digress a bit, I hope I don't bore you. And that is why, whenever some parents complain to me and want me to load up a particular school because of their uniform policy or their phone policy, I don't do it. Like I always say, I am on the side of the schools and the administrators of the schools. They are the ones with the experience, and if them say no phones in schools, they must know why, and I'm gonna support them in their stance. If them say the skirt there too short or the pants there too tight, I am gonna support them. Some are uno parents, uno afraid to talk to uno pitney, but here is my advice to you. If you don't want them to adhere to the rules of the schools, have them home schooled. But don't go to the schools with uno foolishness and then uno are going to send me a message complaining about the schools, this or that. Now, the other day, a parent went to a particular school about the bad behavior of her child. She ended up telling the dean of discipline all kind of bad words in the presence of her child on the school compound. She was charged by a police officer who was at the school, and the school has informed her to find another school for the child. She texts me, wanting me to load up the school. By the way, the name of the school is Godfrey Stewart High School. She texts me, want me to load up Godfrey Stewart. You know what? I'm going to be finishing that story in our next live. By the way, I might be doing 2 lives this weekend. One Saturday evening and then Sunday at 5 p.m. Jamaica time. I'll be doing the one on Sunday with our Canadian immigration consultant. That Sunday afternoon live is for persons who want to visit Canada on a visitor's visa. Don't miss it. But like I was saying, changing of these youngsters' mindset is gonna be very critical in the fight against crime and violence. Do you agree or do you agree? Now, in the news today, You remember the report I carried yesterday that claimed the life of that young man on your screen. His name is Christopher Samuels, but he's popularly known as Delano. If you look on your screen, there is where the accident took place along the Bay Road, main road in the parish of Westmoreland. You notice that there is no street light in place. Now, where you see the cone on your left, that is where the Toyota Axio would have hit the cow. The tree to your right where the cone is, that's the tree that the car collided into. If you look on your screen now, there is a Toyota Axio motor car that was involved in the accident. Delano, he was sitting on the back left seat of the car. You see that? Boy, may I tell you, sad indeed. And a lot of persons, they are saying that the owners for the cows should be prosecuted. Trust me when I tell you, no one is going to come forward and claim ownership of the cows that are involved. And proving ownership is not as easy as many of us would want to think. Trust me. In this next story, if you look on your screen, I got that WhatsApp message from a KlLLED detective. It says, "Hey Popeye, there's a murder that took place in Portobello, Montego Bay. The murder victim is a Rasta man in his 40s. That man is killed by two brothers who are creating havoc in the community. One of the brothers live at X house with X daughter. He's a well-known crime producer. The other brother is of a brown complexion. His name is Y. If those two remain on the street, a lot more are going to die. They don't work." So the incident that the KlLLED detective is talking about, it took place at Portobello Mews in Montego Bay in the parish of St. James. We are learning that a Rasta man, his name is Christopher Jones, but he's popularly known as Rasta or Hi Hi. This December 17, Rasta, he will be celebrating his 52nd birthday. We are told that Rasta, he was living in a building with other relatives. He was last seen alive 11 o'clock Monday morning, July 31 by a relative. Early yesterday morning, Wednesday, August 2, about 2 o'clock, gunshots were heard being fired in the area. Now, we are not sure whether or not the police were informed, but no checks were done. Rasta, he was not seen or heard from all day yesterday. So about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, a relative went to check on Rasta in his apartment. The apartment was locked up and Rasta, he did not answer to the calls being made. As a result, the relative, with the help of others, they managed to force themselves into the apartment. When they went in, the lifeless body of Rasta was seen slumped over the side of his bed in a pool of blood. The police, they were called in, and when they inspected Rasta, he had gunshot wounds to his upper body. He appeared to have died from early in the morning. When this crime scene was processed, 3 9mm Spence shells were recovered from the scene. The mayhem. Now, these next two incidents I'm going to be telling you about, they took place in the Clark Avenue area of Flankers in Montego Bay. They took place yesterday. But let me go back a bit so you can get a sense as to what is happening. On the night of Thursday, October 2, 2022, about some minutes to 11 o'clock, 4 men were attacked and shot at a bar and shop at Kodak Street in Flankers. A group of persons were in the bar and shop playing poker machine when a motor car drove up and stopped. Hoodlums came out of the car and opened gunfire, hitting 4 men who were in the shop. 2 of the men, they died as a result. One of them, his name is Bobby Campbell. He was 34 years old at the time. And the other one, his name is Omar Warren. He was almost 18 years old at the time. The owner for the establishment, he's popularly known as Troy. He's in his late 40s. He was also shot, but he survived. The other person who was shot and survived that attack is or was known as Rick. He received gunshot wounds to his left foot. Well, I can now tell you that Rick's correct name is Ricardo Spence. He was also known as Canadian or Richie Rich. He was born on March 2, 1983, and he lived at KlLLED Avenue in Flankers. Fast forward to June of this year. We are told that another attempt was made on the life of Ricardo Spence, also known as Canadian or Richie Rich. He was shot at in the same Flankers community by a guy who is popularly known as Will. All these guys, they knew each other and they used to be good friends. Canadian, when he was shot at by Will in June, he did not make a report to the police. Well, it is said that Will, he was determined to kill Canadian, and on Monday morning, July 17, about 9 o'clock, Will, he did just that. Canadian, he was at his home when he was approached by Will, who had a gun in his hand. It is said that Will, he immediately opened gunfire at Canadian, who ran and jumped over a wall into a truck. Will chased and opened a barrage of gunshots at Canadian, shooting him in his back, his head, and his left hand. Canadian, he collapsed and fell in a truck where he died. So, friends and cronies of Canadian, they decided that it nah go so. Both the police and hoodlums, they have been searching for Will, but they can't find him. Will, he has a friend who is popularly known as Oshane. His current name is Kemar Brown. He was born on March 28, 1993. He lived in a section of Flankers known as Cuba. We are told that yesterday morning, Wednesday, August 2, about 8 o'clock, residents of the area, they stumbled upon the lifeless body of Oshane lying on his back in a pool of blood in the KlLLED Avenue area of Flankers. The police, they were called, and when they inspected Oshane, he had several gunshot wounds to his upper body. He appeared to have died on the spot. We are told that when this crime scene was processed, a number of 9mm Spence shells were recovered from the scene. We are told that the police, they have identified a suspect in this case, and he is said to be an associate of Ricardo Spence, also known as Canadian or Richie Rich. The mayhem. So let me ask you something. Let me ask you something. Have you hit on the love button as yet? If you have not yet done so, remember to hit on it. Also, if you are over here watching our videos and you have not yet subscribed, hit on the subscribe button. As also, hit on the notification bell. Then click all, so that whenever we drop a new video, you will be one of the first to be notified. And if you notice, we are now over 195,000 subscribers. We need less than 5,000 to reach that milestone of 200,000. So tell a friend to tell a friend if you come over here, so come subscribe. And remember, later on, we are going to be dropping another video. Stand by for it. Now, in the final story for today, I just told you about some incidents that took place in the KlLLED Avenue area of Flankers. I have no information that this incident is connected, but this incident, it took place in the same KlLLED Avenue area of Flankers. It took place last night, Wednesday, August 2, about 8:30. We are learning that 3 men were in a dirt truck having a conversation. A man, his name is Michael Christopher Knight. He is 42 years old and he was an auto spray man, or a Duke man. He was living in the Providence Heights area of Flankers. Michael, he was sitting on a chair in the truck talking to two other guys. We are told that one of the guys that he was talking to is popularly known as Hills. It is said that Hills, he's in his late 30s, and for whatever reason, somebody want him dead. While they were in the truck, we are told that hoodlums, they attacked and opened a barrage of gunshots at the men who ran off in separate directions. When the shooting subsided, Michael, he was found suffering from gunshot wounds. The other two men, they were not harmed. From all indication, Michael, he died on the spot. The police, they were informed, and when they processed this crime scene, 10 9mm Spence shells were recovered from the scene. The mayhem continues. Blessed love, everybody.
Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend about Popeye Newslink and PNL Vlog TV. Like, subscribe and share. Quicksilver sing, if we just unite, what a country this will be. If we just unite, Jamaica live in unity. If we just unite, what a country this will be. If we just unite, Jamaica live in unity. Hey, crime it a mash up Jamaica. Criminals them a mash up Jamaica. Jamaicans mash up Jamaica. Oh Jamaica, me sweet Jamaica. Crime it a mash up Jamaica. Criminals them a mash up Jamaica. Jamaicans mash up Jamaica. Oh Jamaica, me sweet Jamaica. I coulda sunshine or rain. Jamaica, no problem, no pain. Rude boy them knock out can't tame, but me want me country back. Give me country back. To the street and the lane. Everybody them start complain. Bloodshed, what a shame, what a shame. But me want me country back. Give me country back. Crime it a mash up Jamaica. Criminals them a mash up Jamaica. Jamaicans mash up Jamaica. Oh Jamaica, me sweet Jamaica. Crime it a mash up Jamaica. Criminals them a mash up Jamaica. Jamaicans mash up Jamaica. Oh Jamaica, me sweet Jamaica. Jamaica, Jamaica, the land of the sun. Jamaica become now the land of the gun. East and north and south when me turn. Country and town, man a play blood a run. Murder, don't you baby me hear them a murder. Cut it out, tell them no gonna further. Man a dead like cans and bird, yeah. Who no listen them a word.